In Ottawa, Dmitry Dimitrenko of Ukraine finished 4th. He's a former national champion, and because Viktor Petrenko went to the Olympic Games, Dmitry did not get a chance to compete in Lillehammer.
We've already come to expect, in just a couple of years we've been seeing him on the international scene, we have come to expect a little bit of unusual musical selections from Dmitry.
Very nice start with a triple axel double toe loop. He's obviously very happy about that. This double axel. Really shows quality, really shows control.
Was done with flair, precision, originality.
And without even talking to him, you get a feeling of what type of person he is by the style of his program, the way he pulls it off, and it seemed very genuine and very sincere.
Dmitry Dimitrenko of Ukraine. The music, the fly. And he was flying early.
And he flew right into this triple axel, not the highest of the triple axels I've seen, but it was fine. 3.5 revolutions into the double toe loop, just fine.
And charged up his engine for the rest of the program. Absolutely delightful. The camel spin, beautiful. Lost it for a tiny second as he went on too deep a forward outside edge, but then brought it back, showing ordinary positions, but making them kind of special.
Totally making it his own.
The crowd certainly loved it here in Red Deer. 21 years old, from Kiev in Ukraine. 6th at the European Championships. And his marks. The Ukrainian fly gets 5.2, 5.4, 5.6. 5.5s and a 5.3. Presentation marks will be better. He's happy. Michael Jack. Debbie and Brian, we've heard a lot of great things and a lot of promising things about this skater, Michael Jack of the United States.
He's been around for a while, but has burst on the senior scene with some outstanding performances. 3rd in the 93 U.S. Nationals.
element, which is the serpentine footwork done to the slow music. But I think it's a good vehicle for him. He's thinking about the next element, which is the triple axle double toe loop combination.
Staying in the Spanish theme with music from the movie Strictly Ballroom.
Great entry into this triple Lutz. Next double axe, and he puts him on his hip.
Which is a takeoff on a triple jump called the shock toe, which is a triple toe loop with his arms and hands at his side.
Attack.
You know what's nice about this program is they paid attention to detail, not just getting the elements done, the required elements, but paying attention to all the details, the steps, the choreography, the flow. Everything seemed to be just one continuous movement and a purpose from beginning to end.
And Brian, one of the things that the judges are really looking for are not just the jumps, but jumps done from difficult footwork entrances.
The way his face lit up after he hit the combination.
It was nice. He had great flow. Not much to say. It was nice flow. They connected beautifully.
So easy. And the Lutz was perfect as well. Entered from very difficult bracket turns. Anytime there is footwork leading into a jump, it makes it more difficult because you haven't time to set it up.
And you need the control.
What a difference, Brian, between the performance and the warm-up.
Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that's the case. You know, it all depends on the individual.
Here come the marks for required elements. There they are, 5.3. Danish judge gave him a 5.7. 5 4s, 5 5s, and a 5.3 from the Canadian judge. And marks for presentation about the same range. Michael Chack of the United States.
As they say in sports, home ice is an advantage. That could be one of the reasons why the late Brian Pokar reached international stature so quickly. On the ice of the Stampede Corral, his early years gave a promising insight to his international future. By the time Brian was 6, he was skating very well. His flair was very obvious on the ice in his very first Club Carnival. From there to the bronze medal in Skate Canada in 1978 seemed like an overnight journey. Ice time in Calgary was available, and Brian used it to the limit. 1978 was the beginning of a win streak. He won the Canadian Champions that year. He repeated in 79 and again in 1980. His gold in London in 1980 was another reason to believe he was on his way. But after ending Canada's world medal drought with the bronze in 1982 at Copenhagen, it was then that Brian decided the search for gold was over. His classical style made it appear as though he would fulfill his future dream, to win a medal in his parents' home country at the Sarajevo Olympics in 1984. But this was not to be. He starred in the professional shows where his style, grace, and good looks made him in such great demand. Brian had forthright opinions on skating and wasn't reluctant to express them. On this basis, he joined the CTV broadcast crew and was a very popular commentator as we traveled across Canada and around the world for 6 years. Brian liked to reflect on his bronze medal of 1982 in Copenhagen, but I think actually closest to his heart were the medals he won in Skate Canada. He had one in Vancouver, and then the silver medal in 1980, right here in Calgary, his old hometown. Brian Pokar, another outstanding Alberta skating star, became ill. He kept it to himself till almost the end of a great career on the ice and behind the microphone. He died of AIDS when maturity was just on the threshold.
When did you start skating? How old were you?
5 years old.
And why did you start skating?
Well, I was watching TV when I was about 2 and a half. Was really interested in the spinning of all the skaters, and I just wanted to do it from there.
All right, I have a much tougher question for you. Do you have any superstitions?
One, I always put my left skate on first and my right skate on second.
Your favorite move on the ice?
My favorite move on the ice? Oh, boy.
There are a lot of them.
There's a lot of different ones. Triple axel. When I hit the perfect inside edge, and I'm basically angled like this on the ice. When I hit perfect around the edge, and there's not a sound, and you're just gliding, the ice is clean, and you hit that perfect one, you just glide, feels like you're flying. Favorite dish?
Yeah.
Todos chusa.
Which means?
It's, how do I explain it? It's noodles with bacon and a bit of cottage cheese on top. It's a Hungarian dish.
So that's the secret. That's the secret of Elvis. That's why you're able to do quad toe.
Maybe.
How do you say it again?
Todos chusa.
Time's up. World champion, Canadian champion. He's also on a Sun Life Skate Canada streak. Every time he's competed at Skate Canada, he's won. 1991 in London, 92 in Victoria, and now with the music from Total Recall, his new short program.
Right off the bat, first element will be the triple axel double total combination. Very nice.
He's looking trimmer and leaner somehow. Is it possible to grow?
Well, you know what?
Under 20?
I think with just the maturity in his skating, there's a growth to his skating that's happened. So great to see. Now check out the different levels in this footwork. Wow, if this is any indication of what we're in for this year, we're going to have a great year.
Elvis Stojko.
And you know what else pleases me? Not only was it perfectly skated, but choreographically it had a kind of purity about it too. Wasn't gucked up.
It was just the right amount of everything.
Strong and sure.
Beautiful triple axel, double toe loop combination. He had just the right amount of height and the right amount of distance, covered the ice beautifully, and he kept the flow going right through here. But in January at the Nationals, that'll be a triple combination, I'm sure.
But we'll see the triple Lutz again, this one with difficult steps going in. Watch how Elvis pulls his chin up, almost making himself thinner and tighter to get the rotation done. This is actually a characteristic of his jumping style. Very long edge on the landing of the triple Lutz, too. Another good sign of a great jump.
Required elements marks, 5.6s, 5.7, 5.9 from the American judge, and 5.8s the rest of the way. For presentation, five, 6, 5, 5, another 5.9, Elvis Stojko, the leader.
See this?
His first element will be the triple axel double toe, the most difficult element for him. Oh, yeah. Perfectly done. He knows there was a problem on that. That was a double Lutz, but it should have been a triple Lutz. Quality to his skating. It's light. It seems to be floating across the top of the ice.
This very strong combination spin.
Look on his face. Oh, it was okay.
I think he was hot tonight. It's a shame the triple Lutz didn't get that last rotation.
It's a pretty substantial deduction as well. It's between 0.3 and 0.4 for not having the required number of rotations.
Don't know what happened. He seemed to be sitting on the edge very strongly.
At center ice, taking a few extra bows, he is.
The problem on the Lutz happened when he put his toe pick in. He just
missed somehow.
Well, his legs seemed to collapse right in there. 2 revolutions only, and he had to fight even to hang on to that. And he knew he was in trouble.
Footwork was terrific, however, and he didn't lose the momentum for his program. Very often when a skater has such a major error, you kind of give up. He did not. He carried through, still kept the sense of humor.
"24 years old, born in Odessa, Ukraine, grew up in the Soviet Union, emigrated to Israel in 1991. The only Israeli athlete ever at the Winter Olympic Games. He finished 16th in Lillehammer. Required elements marks, Brian?
I think they're fair. It's a pretty major deduction.
Imagine where he would have been if that Lutz had the extra rotation.
And better marks for the showman. Michael Schmerkin is 4th. Sebastian Britten, he made the Olympic team, competed in Lillehammer, finished 10th, finished 8th in the World Championships. He's finally arrived, but we understand that recently he's contemplated quitting.
Oh, I would hate to see it. There is no one with the flair, the choreography, the musical sense, and the most incredible elements.
And so much to offer to the sport.
Oh, you're so right.
Well, we're glad he's back.
But the reason, Brian, he's thought about it. The triple axel jump.
He's carrying a lot of weight on the triple axel, and he knows he needs to have it. But boy, he makes up for the choreography and program. This is probably the best program of the night. That was the combination triple flip, double toe. He did a single toe. Major deduction for that.
Beautifully balanced program as well. Not all the toughest elements front-loaded. Here comes the triple Lutz.
Sebastian Britten of Canada almost stumbled at the end, and he fell in the warm-up on that exact same maneuver.
You know, it looked to me as if he's a little bit fatigued. And you know, Red Deer is at about 4,000 feet, which it plays on you at the end of the program. His legs, you could just see that the lactic acid was taking over, and they were getting a little bit heavy.
The beginning and the end of the program, Debbie.
Yeah, it seemed to be very up and down. There were moments of brilliance.
I think the major problem, of course, was on the combination, and I think that because the triple flip was so good, I think he was going for the triple toe loop, and his toe slipped as he was picking in right in there. It was almost like the whole blade went down, not just the toe.
Yeah, the foot seemed to be slanted sideways, so he was getting the inside edge of the toe pick instead of straight on. And here throughout the footwork, it was not what we expected. Several of the steps starting right here were left out. This was the spot where he tripped during warm-up, and it really knocked the wind right out of him. He was chasing his music at this point as well.
Very carefree spirit. He loves the crowd more than anything, more than the marks even. Born to entertain.
Non, j'ai failli tomber dans le bac.
His coach, José Normand.
Salut Jean-Pierre.
The audience was a little disappointed, but a point to deduction for that accommodation for doing the single toe loop.
And when you've seen it performed at its best, as we have, the judges have too. That's what you want.
His presentation marks, however, will be enough to lift him to 4th place after the short program. 2 Canadians in the top 5 after the short program at the Sun Life Skate Canada for 1994. Sebastian Britten is 4th, and the leader is the world champion, Elvis Stojko. A week going at Skate Canada competitions. Your year of success continues. You still have a free skate to come, but your new program, everyone loved it.
Well, thanks. It was, it's always tough to come back from, say, a world championship, and so much happens during the year, and it's always tough to get that first one down, and it feels really good. The whole week I feel great, and what can I say? It felt awesome.
Even though you are world champion now and everyone is shooting for the top gun, you still have to perform and go out and do the things that you have to do best. Tell us what you were thinking about during the unveiling of this short program.
Well, the mindset, keeping away, say, the technical side, a lot of the mindset was to just focus on my own game plan. And usually it's always trying to catch up to everyone else. Now that I'm there, it's always look ahead, clear road, go, 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 and never look back. Always just keep pushing. And I never wanted, if I get to that position as world champion or Olympic champion or what have you, that I would not back off, that I would constantly keep working, and that I wouldn't let myself slack. I'd always want to keep going, and that's what I really thought of the last year or so, and it's really paid off for me.
Great footwork, new footwork in this program. You were thinking about the spins as well.
Definitely. A lot of different things I wanted to clean up this year, and especially the spins. And I was thinking a lot about the spins, the revolutions, and trying to get them in there. Because during the week, every time I practiced, either one spin was short or one of the other ones. So I made sure all of them were right tonight, and the jumps flowed, and everything sort of came together tonight. It felt great.
It did come together. You're the leader. Congratulations and all the best in the free program.
Thank you very much.
Men's free skate tomorrow night in Red Deer. Still to come, the pairs free skate. We'll look back to last night as well.
Il est originaire de Budapest, il est âgé de 21 ans et au championnat du monde 94, il a terminé 16e. Je ne vous demanderai pas, Alain, de nous dire où il est né. Je vous laisse ça. Oui, alors ça prend peu. Je vais m'entraîner, là, je vous le dirai tout à l'heure. Il vient de faire un triple lot, double boucle piqué, remarquable. Triple flip, magnifique. debout, changement de pied, rabais, et repasser en position. Puis debout. Une gestuelle simple. Je comprends bien, là, vous n'êtes pas emballé jusqu'à maintenant.
Je suis pas emballé par la chorégraphie. Le niveau technique, c'est très bien. Le double axel, malheureusement, arrivé sur 2 pieds. Et là, il va perdre quelques vitesses. Le pirouette arabesque, décentré sur son entrée. Changement arabesque. Avec perte de vitesse dans la dernière rotation. C'est bien, mais c'est sans arbre. On va sauter, retomber en position.
Alors voilà pour John Kerekesh de Hongrie. Sa meilleure performance, il l'a obtenue en 93 à la Coupe Talita. Il a terminé premier. Je ne sais pas très bien ce que c'est que la Coupe Talita. Vous savez peut-être mieux que moi, Alain.
Moi non plus.
C'est peut-être une compétition locale
je connais
en Hongrie, oui.
d'autres compétitions. Il faut dire qu'il y en a une trentaine sur le plan international.
On voit 5-2, des juges américains, hongrois et canadiens. Le juge canadien, c'est une juge, je le répète, Jane Garden. En fait, parmi les juges, il y a 5 femmes et 2 hommes. Et voilà, pour la présentation, c'est un peu moins bon. Il y a quand même un 5-2 du juge hongrois, mais ça, il fallait peut-être s'y attendre. Oui.
Ouais, mais c'est bien noté. Hein. Disons que pour la présentation, on l'a bien noté.
Ah voilà, pour Zsolt Kerekesh, c'était voilà où on en était après le programme court. Elvis Stojko, excellente performance, qui est en tête devant l'Ukrainien Dmitri Dimitrenko. L'Américain Michael Schack aussi, qui nous a fait une très belle performance, est en 3e place. Le Québécois Sébastien Britton est 4e. En 5e, l'Israélien Michael Schmerkil. Le Hongrois Zsolt Kerekesh est en 6e. Le Danois Michael Tillesen est en 7e et le Français Thierry Thérèse.
The lights of Red Deer, Alberta's Centrium will shine on the hero tonight at the 1994 Sun Life Skate Canada International. As we welcome you inside this beautiful building constructed 3 years ago, already this year it has hosted the Canadian Men's Curling Championship, the Brier, later this year the World Junior Hockey Championship, and this week the Sun Life Skate Canada International. It has been a terrific couple of days already. Earlier today, Kristina Zacko of Hungary, a young 15-year-old, captured the women's free skate, the women's competition. Good showing by the Canadian team. Angela DeRoshi of Ottawa was 5th. And Jennifer Robinson, in her first major international competition, Jennifer from Windsor, Ontario, finished 6th. But tonight it's the men's free skate, a shootout in the wild, wild west. And on paper, it looks like this is Elvis Stojko's competition. He is the best skater in the field, but we only have to go back a few months to the Winter Olympic Games in Lillehammer to realize about the unpredictable nature of this sport. Anything can and will happen. Elvis, however, is the prohibitive favorite. He will be in every competition he enters this season. That's what happens when you are a world champion. Someone who knows a lot about that is part of our commentating team. He won the World Championship in 1987 and then came to Skate Canada and later that year won in the Calgary Saddle Dome. Let's go down to Brian Orser along with another champion, Debbie Wilkes.
Well, the thing to watch for tonight with Elvis is his new sense of presence, emotion, and sensitivity. He has a whole new connection with the ice and also with the audience, and you combine that with his brilliant technique and you have a complete and well-rounded skater. This afternoon in practice today, he executed perfectly and effortlessly a quad toe, double toe combination. He's got a plan in the program tonight, and that's very exciting. You know, when I skated for the first time as a world champion at Skate Canada, it was as if everything had changed for me. And I know for Elvis, everything has changed for him as well. You have a whole new approach, and you have a whole new confidence level, and you just move to that whole new plane, and that's the plane of a world champion.
And you know, when you watch him as he's moving around the rink, it's like he's skating in a bubble. The air doesn't even move past him, or maybe it's moving so fast we can't even tell. This is a whole new adventure for him as world champion, and he's not resting on his laurels. A wonderful program from last year, but this year the program theme is skated to the movie Christopher Columbus. And the subtitle, 1492, Conquest in Paradise, and it will be paradise for us. This is a chance for Elvis, he says, not to rest on his laurels, but to move forward. And just like Christopher Columbus, he doesn't really know where he's going to head. But we know where we're going tonight, Rod, and it's 2 hours of great skating for the men's long.
Okay, Debbie and Brian, Elvis presently is the world champion, but both of his programs, one takes a look back. That is the program you will see later tonight in the men's free skate. And there is one that looks ahead to the future. We saw that on Thursday night when Elvis Stojko unveiled his new short program. Let's go to the music Total Recall. Stojko in first place heading into the free skate tonight. Dmitry Dimitrenko, strong skate as well from Ukraine, second. Michael Chak of the United States is third. Sebastian Britten, another one of our Canadian favorites, fourth. Michael Schmerkin, fifth. In sixth position and heading down the rest of the list, Zsolt Kerekes of Hungary, Michael Tillison, who trains in Canada, he represents Denmark, seventh, Thierry Cheret of France, eighth, Stephen Carr, Australia, ninth position. Stephen Cousins had a tough short program. We'll try to recoup tonight in the men's free skate, 10th. In 11th position and 12th positions, the final two positions in the short program, Jeffrey Langdon, who trains in Barrie with Elvis and Steven. He will skate first tonight. And rounding up the men, Mirko Eichhorn of Germany. There is Jeffrey Langdon getting ready to go on the ice. We'll be back in just a few moments. You will see everything live on CTV tonight from the Sun Life Skate Canada International.
A Canadian skater who used Skate Canada as a stepping stone to a great career was Toller Cranston. Toller won the very first Skate Canada Championship right here in Calgary in 1973. Toller followed two of the best male skaters Canada had ever produced, Donald Jackson and Don McPherson. They won back-to-back world championships in 1962 and 1963. Toller quickly ran up a string of 6 straight Canadian championships, and with the coaching of Ellen Burka, Toller tried to change the entire direction of skating. Told that the world judges wouldn't buy his artistry, he worked even harder to become the impressionist. Was he an artist for his skating, as shown by his 1973 win at Skate Canada, or an artistic skater following his paintbrush? Many terms were used to try to describe his skating style and his black skating attire. He rarely left the ice in terms of high jumps, just enough to satisfy the rules. The rest was long gliding, head to the sky, delicate spin combinations, and always wound up with that long sliding finish with one arm reaching for the medal that lay out there somewhere just beyond reach. Medals were hard to come by, even though Toller skated beautifully as Canada's best. At the 76 Olympics, he could only scratch out a bronze, and yet the gold went to John Curry of England, who was also artistic like Cranston. After another confrontation with John Curry on ice, the world judges in Sweden marked Toller even lower. He threw up his hands and his skates in disgust, and he went to show skating. And that's where the judges were the paying customers, and they thought he did deserve several sixes. He didn't hide his feelings toward the skating hierarchy, and he said so loud and clear. Between his ice shows and his art exhibitions, he was never forgotten, and the 6-time Canadian champion has never forgiven.
Warm up for the first flight of the men's free skate. We're live in Red Deer, Alberta. Jeffrey Langdon, 19 years old. He will skate first, and I happened to catch up with Jeff early today for another bit of hard-hitting journalism. We are deep in the heart of the Centrium for another one-minute interview. Jeffrey Langdon is here. What is your favorite jump?
Triple loop.
What is your least favorite jump?
Triple axel.
Tell me about the first time you ever skated.
I was scared.
How old were you?
5.
5 years old. Tell me about your first pair of skates. What kind of skates were they?
They were probably white. I have no idea.
Did you ever dream that you would be skating at a championship like this when you started out skating?
No.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What's your favorite costume?
My line program this year.
How many costumes do you have?
About 20.
20. Who designs them?
Me.
Oh, yeah? Superstition. Any superstitions?
Put my right skate on first.
Always?
Always.
You've never put your left skate at any time? Right
Never
skate
in
on
my
first?
whole life.
If you were an animal, what type of an animal would you be?
A tiger.
Why a tiger?
Because they're aggressive.
What's the stupidest question you ever had asked to you?
What's your favorite animal?
Time's up. Well, here's the tiger. And he's warming up.
1 minute remaining in the warm-up. The men will have 6 minutes to try to get the engine started tonight. Jeff is first out of the starting gate.
What kind of an effect, Brian, for Jeff? And here's Michael Tillison as we look at him. But what kind of effect for a young skater? Big competition like this?
I think he's here as taking the experience and learning from it. And he's sitting in a fairly good position right now. He just wants to skate clean and you know, feel like he fits in. And he's going to be skating first. And right now, what he's doing is just focusing. And the thing about that school up in Barrie is that I know that they have rehearsed skating first, second, third, fourth, or last.
I talked with Jeffrey earlier today about the triple axel that he left out, or did the other night. He's going to leave it out tonight.
I think that's a very wise decision, actually.
Thierry Charret of France will not be leaving his out, however. He has warmed it up in the warm-up.
Stephen Carr from Australia, also a pair skater, and a very good pair skater and a good single skater as well. So he's had his work cut out for him this week.
Stephen Cousins from Great Britain will also be skating in this group, and the last skater will be Mirko Eichhorn of Germany.
We have 2 flights of 6 skaters each. Elvis will skate first in the next flight. But skating first tonight. 8th at the Canadians this year, Elvis Stojko's clubmate from the Mariposa Club, Jeff Langdon.
Jeff prefers the long program over the short. The theme for this program is loosely that of the Three Musketeers.
He came out of the triple flip a little awkward and still, like that tiger, aggressively went after the triple toe loop, and it caught up to him. slow part couldn't have come at a better time. After making a couple of errors in the first section, he almost needs this slow part just to sort of get grounded again, get back into the ice,
Breathe.
and get your confidence back.
Jeff has said this week he's feeling pretty good considering he suffered some groin inflammation and injured his ankle a couple of weeks ago. Again, he says he was part of the infamous magnet miracle at the 93 Canadians where he had injured his ankle repeatedly, and some stranger approached him claiming that putting magnets in your skate would take the pain away. He tried it and it worked.
Well, despite an early fall, Jeffrey Langdon pulled himself together. The Tiger, his marks in a few moments, and just moments ago, an Elvis sighting. Elvis Stojko, who will skate first in the second flight. Yes, he tells security and shows them the pass.
How did you know
Elvis to come later. Much more to skating to come from Red Deer after this.
You know too much.
Doug Lee, Michelle Lee, choreographer, sitting with Jeff. Very good performance. Nice that he came back. He really fought back. This is the triple flip, triple toe. He was a little off balance on the landing right there, and he dropped his left shoulder on the takeoff, and the problem continued to snowball.
But he did fight back. And this lovely combination in the slow part, the triple Salchow double loop, was a very good one. Covered lots of ice, came through nicely to continue out with good speed.
In 1994, he finished 10th at the World Junior Championships, and he's making a leap into the senior competition. His marks for technical merit.
Another coach that has a lot to do with Jeff's progress is one of the team teachers, Robert Tebby, from the Mariposa School.
And his folks watching at home in Barrie, Ontario. Jeff Langdon, first skater, sets the standard. Representing Denmark, 21-year-old Michael Tillison, 7th after the short program.
Must skate a 4.5-minute program. Same length as pairs, but half a minute longer than both women and dance.
One thing I have to mention, I just had a flashback to about 25 years ago. This was my very first program, this music, Lawrence of Arabia.
Did you do a triple flip?
But I didn't do a triple flip, that's for sure. That was a beauty. was a very unusual fall. He just seemed to catch his edge. He almost got a little carried away with the music and the choreography. Those things happen, and they happen very fast.
As long as he manages to stay upright and not let that fall affect the rest of the program, it really has no bearing on the marks. Seems like he's fine. Good triple south. The fall seems to have affected his spins, but not his jumps. As I've watched the spins since the fall, they've been wavering. He's been having trouble hanging on to the positions. Normally, you see problems in the jumps after. Right at the end.
Michael Tillison of Denmark. His marks in a moment.
Anxiously awaiting the marks. I think he's probably a little excited because this is one of his best skates. The triple Lutz was quite nice in the air. He climbs nicely into the air, but he really had to fight for the landing, but that's exactly what he did. He fought for it.
Marks for presentation. Les autres présentations. 5-0.
There's the little run-in with the Centrum sign on the boards.
4-8.
And the marks for technical merit. 4-9 to 5-2. And the marks for presentation will lift him into the #1 position after two skaters. Michael Tillison of Denmark. 8th after the short program. The winner of the Grand Prix International this year, Thierry Cheret from France.
Thierry is a skater with a bit of a sense of humor, if you recognize the Addams Family music.
Nice big triple S to start with. You know, we may not have Philippe Candelero here, but I think Thierry is quite a bit the same, actually.
triple axel. Doesn't get the height.
Triple sow cow, half loop triple sow cow.
Bad layout in the program generally. The jumps seem to be all in exactly the same spot, so you don't get a sense of variety or ice coverage.
Tribute to the Adams family. Had some entertaining moments and some scary ones, too, for Thierry Cheret of France. The judge's decision on his performance in just a few minutes as Elvis Stojko skates off, starts warming up.
When your tongue says take.
New revolution in French skating?
I think he's Mr. Casual. He had some great skating. The best part was this triple sow combination. Here's the first one and just bounces right into the half loop and into a second triple sow cow. Tough combination.
His marks for technical merit. Some good French skaters right now with Philippe Candeloro and Eric Milot, and this young man, Thierry Cheret. Marks for presentation, elevates him into the first position after three skaters, Cheret, then Tillison, then Jeff Langdon. And on the ice, talk about a maverick, one of them anyways, Stephen Carr, Australia, 28 years old, national champion.
skates pairs as well here at the Sun Life Skate Canada. Deb with his sister.
Gives him a lot of ice time. One way to double up on things. Although he was telling me he doesn't know if he's had really enough ice time with this new program, done to a medley of selections from the movies, starting with Hook, going to Dances with Wolves, and ending with Krull.
Nice start, very nice start with triple flip. Almost had it. That was a triple axel. A good attempt, especially after coming off the triple lutz that he fell on as well. He's due for a slow part soon as well.
Can often be more tiring than the most difficult jump. Very quick edges and turns require a great deal of control.
Stephen Carr, Australia. Pair skater, singles skater. Man loves the ice. We'll have his marks in just a moment. as we move closer, Alberta. And there's Stephen Carr along with sister Danielle.
His pair partner, and she was telling me, as a matter of fact, he's the best brother in the world because tomorrow's her birthday, and he makes sure she gets all kinds of wonderful little things. They're usually away from home at this time of year.
Marks will leave Stephen Carr in 4th position after 4 skaters, and we go from Stephen Carr to Stephen Cousins, the 22-year-old, ever popular in Great Britain and in Canada because he trains Brian with Elvis Stojko at the Mariposa Club. And what a terrific Olympic Games he had, 9th in Lillehammer.
With his first year with Doug Lee and at that school, he improved so much. 10th place at Worlds, meaning that they can send 2 this year from Great Britain to the World Championships, which are in Britain as well.
For Stephen, something different, a little more classical. He also wanted something very British. What could be more British than the Beatles?
Some trouble tonight. That was the to-be triple flip. It was a double flip. Also, the same thing happened with the Lutz. I think sometimes when you make such a huge impact in skating, as Stephen did last season, the responsibility that goes with it is a little bit overwhelming.
It takes you a year or 2 to settle in.
He was 10th after the short program, trying to improve on that and scale the ladder here in Red Deer. We'll find out what the judges think when we come back.
It'll be fine, but this is an example of one of the great things they did do, the combination jump, starting with a double axel and into the triple toe loop. Nice series. He kept the momentum going, and he just rebounded from one little jump to the next.
And right at the end of his program, too.
I'll never forget in Lillehammer, though, when after that short program, he looked up at the leaderboard and he saw his name on top, and his eyes just lit up. Saw the marks there for technical merit and for presentation.
He'll be there again.
Long season ahead still, preparing for the World Championships. Stephen Cousins is currently third. Thierry Cheret of France still first. Tillison of Denmark, he's second. And the final skater in the first flight, 23-year-old Mirko Eichhorn of Germany.
Double axel.
Well, not off to a very good start with the fall in the triplet, the doubled sow cow, and a double loop. All of which were supposed to be triples.
Developing in Mirko. Some very nice choreographic sections. He's been skating all this week during practice with a removable cast on his hand, having injured it during practice earlier. Tonight he's skating without it.
It's Mirko Eichhorn, 12th after the short program. Will have his marks, and we still have the final flight to come tonight from Red Deer. Music from the movie Backdraft, Mirko Eichhorn, Germany.
Pretty ominous music to skate to. He had some very big problems with the jumps, but one of my most favorite elements was the camel spin. He has a beautiful position, very flat on the blade, the leg nicely extended, and as he spins, he changes arm position, which in the camel spin seems to have a great deal of effect, generally slowing it down. He managed to keep the speed up on that.
Choreographer Diana Goolsby, coach Peter Jonas. Mirko was 16th at the European Championships in 1994. Contemplated retiring, actually quitting in 1992, but decided to stay on, keep skating.
A huge amount of competition within the unified Germanies, and he finds it very hard. Training time is very low, has trouble getting ice. Tough to skate.
Low marks for technical merit. 4.5s and 4.7s, a 4.6 in between. Same type of marks for presentation. Mirko Eichhorn is 6th after 6 skaters. There's Elvis on the ice for the warm-up. 6 more skaters to come from the 1994 Sun Life Skate Canada International.
From the Ukraine, Dmitry Dimitrenko.
Step back in time. A voyage of discovery. Music from the 1492 Conquest of Paradise soundtrack.
The one thing to watch at the beginning of this program, he does absolutely 0 crossovers into this triple flip. It's all connecting steps, and it's great.
Without an inch of ice left on the landing. Good attempt at the quad toe. He just put his hand down.
second triple axel. Really nice. Skaters put the triple S at the beginning of the program. Elvis has it right near the end. An incredible sign of training and stamina.
5 skaters to come. I don't think anybody's going to touch him. There's his mom, Elvis's mother.
You know, my first impression of this program is a really good one. Doug Lee, choreographer and stylist. Ushi Kessler, very proud. He is right on track.
It may have been a voyage of discovery for Elvis, but here we are with something new yet again, that patient look that he has, never trying to be something that anyone else has showed him, being true to himself.
Truly one of the finest performances I have ever seen Elvis do.
With that, we take a break and come back with the marks of the King after this. And there is Elvis Stojko.
Only one small error in the program, and that was on the quad toe right here. It was very aggressive. It was quite high. Just a small lean on the end of it.
Looked like the feet got around, but the shoulders didn't quite make the last 5 degrees or so.
Triple Lutz right at the end of the program. Textbook Triple Lutz. He climbed beautifully into the top of the jump right there.
Someone might have to do a quad to beat Elvis Stojko tonight. I don't think anyone's going to touch him. 5.8s, 5.9s, technical merit. Obviously, that touchdown had no effect on the judge's decision.
Because he is skating first in the last group, however, they have left some room.
Presentation marks a little bit lower. 5 skaters to come. Elvis Stojko will wait to see if he can lay claim to his 3rd Sun Life Skate Canada title. Sun Life Skate Canada title.
From the United States, Michael Chack.
So, Brian, Michael Chack just saw that.
This is a really tough position to be skating in. Although as soon as he did the draw, he knew that this would be the response. So you plan for it, you prepare for it, and mentally you're ready. And sometimes it could be the best thing that could happen.
His first element, triple axel. Body bobbing forward on the landing.
Oh, his strap has come down, undone from his pants.
Listen, that's a break.
Could be a break.
He'll get a chance to try again.
His his coach, Peter Burrows, right beside us, as a matter of fact, yelled out right away, and then Michael noticed. Debbie?
And when this happens, they will go to the referee, and the referee will allow him to take his time to fix his skate and start the program from the beginning. So he gets a second try at that triple axel.
It's amazing the kind of differences that the skaters will feel. One skater will totally fall apart in this kind of situation.
And he appears to be really on top of the whole situation.
Calm, very calm. Another skater will look at it. I've been given a second chance.
That ever happened to you, Brian? Something like that?
Happened once when my skate came my lace came undone.
Reporting back to Sally Stapleford, the referee. And I believe he is starting from the beginning.
Pick up the music. Pick up the music. Pick up the phone.
23-year-old from Brick Township in New Jersey. Take a look.
Right there is where the strap came undone.
Oh, he's starting after the triple axel.
Unfortunately, he doesn't get a chance to do the triple axel over again.
He would like to.
Based on when the strap released, they are trying to estimate as closely as possible when that was.
Do you think that's fair?
I think with being so early in the program, they should have just let him start from the beginning again. It was a nice triple axel, quite high, but just the top, he was top heavy, coming down.
I would assume the referee is stating that since the strap came undone after the triple axel, there's no reason why he should be allowed a second chance.
And here he goes again.
Quite a comeback from all of that. It's very good focus.
That's courage.
Same problem on the second triple axel. Was in the exact same place as the first one as well, just a little top heavy.
to note, the clock is not running. There's a very large board right up in the ceiling of the arena. Usually you can watch second by second the duration of the program unfold. Due to the late start in the music, no clock is running.
Something like that can be very unsettling. His strap came apart, but Michael Chak didn't. He came back and skated. We'll have his marks in a minute.
Chak probably wondering what happened with his strap of his pant, but there's a new rule this year, rule number 367 in the ISU regulations of 1994, saying that the skater must continue immediately from the point of interruption.
Michael Chak's marks put him in second place behind Elvis Stojko. He was able to recover. Fine young skater. The American skating community very strong right now in the men's division. Todd Eldridge won Skate America a couple of weeks ago. This is Michael Schmerken, the only athlete in Winter Olympic Games history to represent Israel.
Starting off with the very difficult triple axel double toe loop combination. Very nice. On its own, though. He is happy about that because he missed about 5 in a row in the warm-up.
You notice he always skates with gloves on? It's a security blanket for some skaters. If you practice with gloves on, you feel like to fall would be absolutely horrible. I was one of those.
And the second triple axel. This time with the double toe. Or now a double toe.
A skater cannot repeat an element in the long program unless it is in combination.
think he's got a good future as a show skater someday.
Refreshing change of pace.
Probably not a wise decision to be changing your program as you're, he's thinking on his feet and trying to add things in the last minute. You just cannot do that, especially when you're under such pressure. 4,000 people watching.
He was fifth after the short program. We'll see where he will stand. The judges' marks in a moment.
5, 6.
Technical merit marks for Michael Schmerken. Very good marks.
Well, those 2 triple axles were
Beauties.
rather exceptional.
Most improved jump for Michael this year, triple axel.
But now he needs a good program. He needs some choreography. He can't just be a hockey puck going back and forth down the ice, jumping at the ends.
Well, Michael Schmerken with his marks, however, second place ordinals across the board and 1 third-place ranking. Michael Schmerken is now in second position behind Elvis Stojko. Michael Chak is third. And here is someone who might just disrupt that top 3, because this man can skate. Dmitry Dimitrenko of Ukraine.
And he's a character, too. This selection of music is called I Did. The composer, Dmitry himself. Along with the help of some friends, recorded in Kiev last spring, he plays the keyboards.
Second attempt at a quad tope this evening. Unsuccessful. He doesn't seem to be too bothered by it, though. I'm liking the nice long landings on the jumps. Shows nice control.
triple sow, half loop triple sow things. Whether it's an act or not, but he's having, at least by all appearances, a great time out there. As the skater has a good time, so does the audience. Wondering where the other rotation on his double axel went.
Dmitry Dimitrenko in second position after the short program. We'll get his marks in just a few moments. And Sebastian Britten to skate next. Marks now for Dmitry Dimitrenko, only 21 from Ukraine. Another one of these skaters on the road to 1998 in the Winter Olympics. And his marks for presentation will place him in the second position behind Elvis Stojko. Two skaters to come.
Canada, from Canada,
Sebastian Britten.
Taking his time, and when he's ready, he'll go. Like another skater we know, Oksana Bayov.
24-year-old from Brossard, Quebec. Took a major leap in his career when he finished third at the Canadians, went to Lillehammer, finished 10th and 8th at the World Championships.
And he made that 8th place finish at the World's Rod without a triple axel. The only skater in the top ranks in the world to not have one in his artillery.
But what he does have is great style, great choreography, and a great sense of just skating.
There is no chance that Sebastian can win. Elvis Stojko has already wrapped that up. But he can place in the top 3, can't he?
He certainly can. And he is really on tonight.
watch this entrance into the triple loop jump from just a plain, beautiful left back inside edge. He brackets.
Unfortunate, because usually that's quite a moment when it all connects into the triple loop. Good boy, nice. Second triple Lutz in series with a double toe loop.
You know, he nearly decided to quit skating a couple of weeks ago. This whole hurdle of the triple axel just became too much for him. Thought, I'll never make it to the top without it. Just
But I would
get it to happen.
I would really miss great skating like this, though.
Wow.
A smile from Sebastian Britton. Will he crack the top three? The judges will let us know. There's our champion. One skater to come still. No triple axel Paulson jump, but this man is a gifted skater.
He is absolutely beautiful. This is what, to my opinion, figure skating is all about. You can do these gorgeous triple flips. You can even have a triple axel if you want. But it's the entire package, the musicality, the choreography, the originality. That's what Sebastian Britton is to me.
Okay, let's keep an eye on the marks here, because he could end up in the top three. Technical merit marks and the presentation marks, and they will be higher because he is someone who can impress you with that artistic impression he did to the judges. And yes, Sebastian Britton is third.
One skater still to come, but someone who I don't think can upset the apple cart.
And to think he wanted to quit. Not now. Sebastian Britton. And now the last skater, sixth after the short program. This is Zsolt Kerekes of Hungary, 21 years old, not much international experience. I wouldn't think he's a threat for top three.
I wouldn't think so either. Never say never.
He's been skating really well here in practice. I had never seen him before, and he turned my head a few times.
Watch for this triple Lutz, probably one of the best ones in the competition. It just flies.
Woo!
And he held on to the triple toe loop that went with it.
2 foot on the landing, maybe. And his Red Deer audience is so friendly. They need just the slightest amount of encouragement. They're practically out there skating with you.
Looks to me like Mr. Fatigue has taken over his body with still about a minute and a half left to go.
If the skater is under the 10 seconds over or under time limit, they are penalized.
See, to me, this music requires fast and furious type skating to go along with. That would be the type of choreographer that I would do. And it just isn't happening right now.
It's not a skating vehicle. He needs something to highlight those beautiful jumps.
Earlier today, Kristina Zako of Hungary won the women's competition. Zsolt Kerekes will not win the men's, but he's only 21, and we'll be watching him in the future. There is our champion, Elvis Stojko.
It was marks for Zsolt Kerekes as he is awaiting the judge's decision. They certainly like the good jumps, but we still need a program.
And I think that reflects in the second set of Mark's presentation. Very fair.
Zsolt Kerekes.
There he is.
This was a really great night of skating. The top 5, all the way down to Michael Chak, all skated well. Elvis was brilliant. You know what? There was a couple of times tonight that I actually got goosebumps. One was during Elvis's performance. Another time was during Sebastian Britten. And what a great night for him as well.
I was enchanted, the two of them. We're very proud of you, Elvis and Sebastian.
Elvis Stojko will be back to talk. Since 2 Canadian men finished in the top 3 at the Sun Life Skate Canada International, but Elvis Stojko and Sebastian Britten accomplished that tonight. Michael Shmerkin of Israel, major accomplishment for him. He won the silver medal today, and you see the rest of the standings. Jeffrey Langdon as well, 10th place finish. And finally, Stephen Carr and Mirko Eichhorn. But I am joined by Elvis Stojko now, and another mission accomplished. Tell us about tonight and the last few days and the week really here as you unveiled the new programs of 94.
Well, I don't know how I can put it into a nutshell. So many things have happened this week and so many things that I've gone through. Tonight was a lot different than Thursday in respects to how I felt. Thursday I felt really on when I stepped on the ice, warm-up, got off. Everything felt really solid. Tonight I didn't feel quite as solid as I did Thursday. However, I just allowed myself to trust my instincts and to trust everything that's inside and the muscles that I've worked every day. And as soon as I went into the first axle, I gave it a little bit more hesitation to make sure I was set. After the first axle, I was fine.
You don't need the quadruple toe, really, to win this competition, but you continue to try it and do it. And someday, perhaps, it will just become an elementary part of this routine, perhaps.
Well, that's the whole idea. The reason why I do it is because I can, not because I have to. And it's a good practice to do it, and I wanted to get a good solid try down and an attempt on it tonight. So it was pretty good here. Just put my hand down.
I want to ask you now, you were on tour a little while ago with some friends. It's been an incredible year for you. Perhaps a lot of people still think you should have won gold in Lillehammer. What has it been like? Has your life changed at all as a world champion? The demands, I see so many people wanting your autograph, wanting interviews. What has it been like this year?
It's been basically upside down from the year before. It's been always great behind Kurt, learning a lot, not being so much in the spotlight. Started to creep up beside him, get a little bit of his spotlight there, back and forth. And then as I basically took over his spot when he retired, it's a totally different world. And there's more of everything, more people, more media, more demands, and it's really hard to say no. But you know, you gotta find time for yourself and to enjoy what you've done, and you know, always make everyone.
Alma Lepina. Elle est de Riga, elle est née à Riga, elle vit à Riga et elle a participé, vous vous en souvenez, Anna, à State Canada l'année dernière. Elle avait terminé 12e à Ottawa. Un peu plus costaud, c'est 1m65 et c'est 60 kilos.
Triple boucle piqué très haut, suivi du double boucle piqué, magnifiquement exécuté. Grande vitesse de sortie. Double accel. Bien réussi. Le salco, bien réussi. Cambré. Peu cambré d'ailleurs. De bons mouvements techniques, mais peu d'expression chorégraphique. Toujours les mêmes gestes. Et ça, évidemment, ça risque de la pénaliser. En position cambrée, changement à position assise, position arabesque, position Billman. Très bonne combinaison de pieds. Alma Lepina, Lettonie, âgée de 20 ans. Je trouve qu'elle a très bien patiné, c'était très agréable de la voir exécuter les difficultés, mais au niveau de l'expression, ça manque encore un petit peu. Oui, parce qu'elle n'a pas commis tellement d'erreurs techniquement.
Pratiquement
Sauf
pas.
on avait l'impression que ça manquait peut-être un peu d'enchaînement, que ça manquait peut-être un peu de grâce, si vous voulez.
Ben, je dirais qu'elle patine avec elle-même, au lieu de patiner avec le public, en le regardant, en l'appelant à elle.
Ça, c'est peut-être un signe de nervosité, non?
Non, il y a des patineuses comme ça, exemple sur Yabonali, il y en a d'autres qui sont très extérieures, comme Oksana Bayo. Alors on voit la pirouette sauter, retomber en position assise, pas assez assise d'ailleurs. Maintenant c'est un petit peu mieux la position. Et vous voyez, elle pirouette en restant à la même place, ce qui est très important. Il faut que la pirouette reste centrée, comme on dit. Série de pas, suivi du triple salco, pris sur les pas, très haut, très beau, elle saute très très haut.
Elle risque probablement d'avoir plus de points pour les éléments requis. Pour
moi, je la placerais devant Laetitia Hubert, mais est-ce que le jury ferait ainsi?
Oh. Alors donc, pour les éléments requis, il y a des 4 vis. La meilleure note, évidemment, c'est du juge letton. C'est un 5-4. Et maintenant, pour la présentation, là, voyons voir. Ce n'est pas très fort. Encore une fois, c'est le juge letton qui lui donne le plus de points. 5-4. Donc, c'est décevant. Je vous regarde. Elle n'est âgée que de 16 ans. Et avec son mètre 65 et ses 54 kilos, Alain, c'est quand même déjà avancé pour son âge. On dit gabarit, on va voir ce que ça va donner comme performance.
Elle se prépare pour faire le triple lock. Malheureusement, elle a basculé de gauche à droite et n'a pu atterrir le sol. sur les pas. Pirouette sautée, position arabesque. Sortie en pirouette illusion. Et elle ne plie pratiquement pas pour effectuer les croisés. C'est un défaut majeur car ça lui empêche de pousser avec les jambes, donc elle consomme beaucoup d'énergie. De part. Elle part en position arabesque. Elle arabesque. Oh, elle a accroché avec le talon. On la compare avec l'épisode, la patineuse précédente, elle est beaucoup plus expressive. Beaucoup plus expressive, mais un patinage plus lent, mais évidemment, c'est attrayant. C'est plus attrayant à regarder. Pirouette cambrée mieux effectuée aussi. C'est son tempérament, hein, au niveau des pieds. Ouais. Double axel, bien réussi. Petit accrochage peut-être avec le pied gauche. Pirouette combinée, changement à position assise, position arabesque, et repasser en position assise, puis debout. Multiples positions.
Dans son cas, c'est une histoire de famille. Son entraîneur et son père, Georgi Stojko, et sa chorégraphe et sa mère, Clara Stojko.
Ça a l'air de porter fruit, hein, ça fonctionne bien.
Ben, vous l'avez aussi, ça fait plusieurs fois que vous la voyez. Vous l'avez vu au championnat du monde en 92, vous l'avez revu à Lillehammer aux Jeux Olympiques. Elle était à Ski Canada l'année dernière à Ottawa. Alors donc, ce n'est pas une nouvelle venue pour vous.
En effet, mais je ne savais pas que toute la famille était impliquée.
Je viens de l'apprendre. Moi aussi. Alors attendons voir. Ça devrait quand même être Christina Stojko, une Hongroise, âgée de 16 ans seulement. Quand même, c'est intéressant. À 16 ans, elle a beaucoup de potentiel, si vous...
Oui, beaucoup de moyens physiques, beaucoup de qualités sportives. Je crois que le patinage va aller vers des patineurs qui seront âgés de moins en moins.
Alors, des 5, il y a des 4-6, 4-7. Il n'y a pas eu de très haute note jusqu'à maintenant dans cette compétition individuelle chez les dames. On a vu son papa, dont on parlait tout à l'heure, là, à la gauche de l'écran. Alors voyons voir pour la présentation, c'est mieux, oui, c'est beaucoup mieux. Il y a quand même 2-5-5. 2-5-5 et qu'un seul 4-9. Ken Jessica Mills, elle est âgée de 20 ans. Maintenant, elle a été championne junior du monde en 89 et l'année suivante, elle était 4e à ces mêmes championnats du monde. Et cette année, elle a terminé 8e au championnat américain.
Passage difficile, hein, du championnat junior au championnat senior.
Amusé.
Triple lock, double boucle piqué. Bien réussi. Pirouette arabesque, passer en position cambrée, repasser en position arabesque et illusion, changement à position assise. Très bon mouvement. Oh, elle vient de manquer le double axel. Elle a fait un axel. Ça, c'est assez grave. Avec pas en position arabesque. Triple flip, bien réussi, malgré un peu de difficulté à l'atterrissage. Et bien voilà, mademoiselle Jessica Mills, elle est née à Chicago, mais elle s'entraîne maintenant à Vail, au Colorado. Une carrière vraiment, on l'a mentionné tout à l'heure, vraiment dans son cas. Je pense qu'elle a eu des problèmes de santé à un certain moment parce qu'elle est disparue de la circulation entre 1989 plus ou moins jusqu'à 1994. Et elle n'a pas pu se qualifier pour les Jeux de Lillehammer. Elle avait même terminé très loin, c'est-à-dire en 8 semaines. Alors vous voyez, ça se situe entre 4, 6 et 5 pour les éléments requis. 4, 9 du juge canadien. Et là c'est mieux, c'est beaucoup mieux pour la présentation. Il y a même un 5-4 du juge allemand. Et il n'y a aucune note en bas de 5, c'est quand même bien dans les circonstances. C'était triple axel à l'entraînement.
Saturday is always that way. Let's run down what we have for you today on CTV. The women's free skate to come live later in the show. We'll have highlights of the women's short program in just a few moments. And then later tonight, be with us on CTV, Elvis, Stojko, and the rest of the men in the men's free skate. There is Elvis on the ice right now below me, just going through the final paces of his workout in the afternoon, the early afternoon in Red Deer. He'll be back on ice tonight. He's the leader after the short program, and of course he is the world champion. Our Skate Canada coverage will finish off tomorrow with the finale, the ice dance competition. Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz, the Canadian champions, are the leaders after the compulsory dances. Now let's go back to last night before we get to today. Canada already has one win at this competition. It came in the pairs competition. Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz, the heirs apparent to Lloyd Eisler and Isabelle Brasseur, with their first international win last night in the pairs competition. And then at the medal ceremony afterwards, the silver medalists, Elena Berezhnaya, on the podium by herself. Her partner, Oleg Shliakov, decided not to show up. Chris Wirtz, in a classy gesture, brought her onto the ice and then later helped her onto the podium. Classy gesture from Chris, not so classy by Berezhnaya's partner, Shliakov, who didn't show up for the medal ceremony last night. Lots coming today. We'll also examine and explore the state of skating right now, how it was in the old days and how it will look in the future. That's to come. Women's short program in a few moments. Let's go down now to our commentators, our champions, Debbie Wilkes and Brian Orser.
Well, in the women's event, the marquee names may not be here, but we have some skaters with a lot of great international exposure. Letitia Hubert from France, Christina Stojko from Hungary, and Germany's Marina Kielman, who is ranked number 3 in the world right now. She had a horrible short program, and she's very eager to improve on that placing with her free program. Now, here's the story with Canada. Susan Humphreys was to be here. She's injured, which is a shame because she's living just up the road in Edmonton. But we'll see her in January at the Canadian Championships in Halifax. She'll be healthy, and she'll be there with the new coaching team. In her absence, we've been able to send 2 of Canada's rising stars, Angela DeRoche from Ottawa and Jennifer Robinson from Windsor.
Well, Brian, old face or new, these women will all be looking in the short program to complete the 8 required elements in under 2 minutes and 40 seconds. You'll see 3 jumps, 3 spins, 2 footwork sections, one of which is the spiral sequence. The most important thing in the short program, for the women at least, is that for the first time in history, they will be allowed to attempt a triple jump as the solo jump in their program. The interesting thing, I think more interesting in fact, is that the ISU has restructured the marking of the short program so that the jump combination is not as important as it once was, thereby giving a more well-balanced program since each of the elements will be worth an equal amount. All of that in an effort to try to get the skaters to pay a little more attention perhaps to choreography, and also so we can see a more well-balanced program.
Only 20 years old, but Letitia Hubert has quite a portfolio. Former world junior champion, 4th at the World Championships in 1992, 17th in Lillehammer,
from Versailles, France.
She's a skater that most other skaters want to stay away from on the ice. She has a history of injury, not only to herself, but by crashing into other skaters. In fact, last night during practice, she hit the boards, banged her knee, really injured herself quite badly, although nothing more than pain. Spent a little time in the hospital. The other skaters are terrified of practicing with her on the ice.
Her first element, triple loop, double toe. Very nice. And she's been having a problem with that. She is either on or off tonight. She appears to be on. Spiral sequence, another required element for the short program. This year, new rule for the women's short program, they have the option of doing a triple or double jump individually out of steps. She has chosen a triple toe loop. Here it is. And there should be a small deduction for that, for putting her foot down after she's landed the jump.
Letitia Hubert of France. She won the World Junior Championship in Canada in 1991 in Hull, Quebec.
This is the combination jump, the triple loop into the double toe. But she just took that great speed right into the jump. She had great distance and a nice double toe loop, but still awfully close to those boards.
I know, she seems to put, even in the long program, you'll see that, and here as well with the triple toe loop. Getting very close into the end, seemed to go up nicely. The free leg, however, got crossed too far over. She couldn't follow through to hold the landing.
The marks for the required elements. And the second set for presentation. Letitia Hubert of France and her short program.
And now another one-minute interview with Michelle Strong. No, she's just working on the ankle. Avanji Hiroshi is here. Are you ready for this? 1 minute. When did you start skating?
I was 10 years old.
Now, why did you start skating?
Because I tried a lot of different sports, and my mom used to like skating, so then I decided to try it, and I just started liking it.
Did you have any heroes when you were young?
I liked Midori Ito.
Tell me about your first pair of skates.
I'd have to say that they were the kind that you buy at Canadian Tire.
A little commercial there. Do you get dizzy when you spin?
No. Well, sometimes when you get in a new rink and there's a lot of bright lights, you kind of forget which direction you're coming out. But after a while, you get used to it again.
Do you have a favorite skating moment? Like the best moment you've ever had on ice?
Yeah, I'd have to say it was when I won Junior Canadians.
Very special night for Angela DeRoshi. Her 21st birthday, her first Sun Life Skate Canada International competition.
She was just brought in, too, not that long ago after Susan Humphreys had to withdraw due to injury. She's come from Skate America, looking to improve upon her performance there.
Well, she's getting every birthday gift a girl could ask for. First 2 triples in the program, nicely done. I love this next element. It's the double axel, but watch how she enters. From a back inside 3, and up she goes, only a single. That'll be about a 0.3 deduction. It's a major deduction for leaving out 1 revolution on a jump.
Angie DeRoshi, former Canadian junior champion. She had it all going right up until that double axel.
Brian, you spoke yesterday about how sometimes you take the double axel for granted.
This is the triple Stojko. It was just right on, actually. Nice tight position in the air, right into the double toe loop.
Yeah, just perfect. Everything was perfect. But then, in taking the double axel for granted, I think her best element lost it. Lost her concentration for just a second. You never know when the body opens up like that. Why?
There's her coach, Peter Dunfield. Debbie, he's had many a young protege.
Elizabeth Manley, the current world champion, Yuka Sato from Japan.
He told us that she has an excellent opportunity, though, if she puts her mind to it right now, because of the retirement of José Chouinard, although José is also thinking perhaps of coming back as an eligible skater someday.
With all the retirements, she is ranked quite high in Canada at this moment. And here's a skater. Angie has been skating for years with a chronic ankle injury, and she says it's only in the last month that she's feeling like her foot is really hers again.
The deductions hurt her on the required elements. Her marks for presentation are better, but the double axel, so costly on her 21st birthday.
That was last night
Angela DeRoshi finished fourth in the short program, with the women's free skate still to come today. Letitia Hubert is the leader. Christina Zacco is second. The American Jessie Mills third. And Alma Lapina, who also got 2 first-place ordinals, is in 5th position. Amanda Farkas, the Canadian Jennifer Robinson. You'll see her today. Marina Kielman, a surprising 8th. Natalie Krieg of Switzerland in 9th position, one of the best spinners in the world. Beautiful day in Red Deer, Alberta. Sky blue, sunshine, inside, some great skating. When we come back, we examine the state of the game in '94. The images on the horizon of the figure skating world seem hazy. The sport is seeking focus, struggling for new definition, a maturing process that everyone hopes will bring clarity to the mix. The stars of today are facing the same identity crisis as stars from other eras, and there is concern for the direction of this sport.
You know, at the grassroots level, I think it's great. At our level, it's dangerous because, you know, skating's so exciting right now. You know, I'm worried that we're going to take too much. So we have to take care of what's treating us so great, which is figure skating, and nurture it and make sure it stays alive for, you know, many decades to come.
It's a time for kids whose families sacrificed enormously, $25,000 to $30,000 a year in after-tax income to support a skating career. And when the chance to skate for money comes along, who can blame them for jumping into it?
Well, I think it is getting too big, and somebody's going to have to pull in their horns. The fact is, however, that you've got agents running to promoters, and as long as you've got those agents running to promoters, the promoters are going to give it a try. And what happens with that is that you get so many. We haven't reached that point yet, but we're not far away.
I think the real winner is the figure skating fan. To keep all of these kids in and skating at the level that they're skating at, that never happened before. Back in the 80s, early 80s, I mean, they just went to ice capades and you really never saw them again until they rolled through your town. Now you can see them every weekend and skating at a very high level. So I think that's the future. These kids will be in the sport a lot longer than they were before.
It's big business now, and
Is that good?
I guess it is good because skaters, so many skaters that were great but didn't have enough money to fund their own skating, never got a chance.
We all are very concerned. It just is happening so quickly, and every day brings something new. So I know we're going to have a council meeting in Budapest at Junior Worlds, and certainly it's going to be one of the top items up for discussion.
It'll have to do exactly as it always has, one step at a time, and the new kids are going to have to be able, we have to have confidence they can grow up. And yes, we can keep moving. I mean, the bubble doesn't have to burst, kind of thing. And if we go through a cycle where it appears down sometimes, so what? It's all part of a cycle. There's no arrow. It's just pointed in a straight line. No matter what you follow in history, there's always a graph, and things have to breathe before they go again.
Doug Lee, coach of Elvis Stojko. Men's free skate to come later tonight. Women's free skate in just a few moments here on CTV. But let's talk a little bit about the state of skating right now. And joining us is the Director General of the Canadian Figure Skating Association. There may be some people out there who are saying, what are they talking about? I see Kurt Browning skate so well. I see Elvis Stojko. Skating's enjoying a wonderful time. Is it?
It is, and it isn't. I think this is really no different than what a lot of sports before us have gone through. Maybe hockey, maybe in the tennis, to a lesser extent in golf. I think it's when the world of the amateur skater or the developing skater meets the world of the performer and the moneyed agent skater. And somewhere in between is where we are now, I think. And a lot of the comments that I made, I think the first comment that's been made is it is good for the sport. In many ways, it's lifting the consciousness of the sport, the popularity of the sport. And certainly in the Lillehammer Games, even though it was the first time that people came back, so-called professionals came back to the sport, it certainly increased the level of performance very much. So a lot of things are happening. I think the most difficult thing that I'm finding I have to explain to people is people are saying, so how have you changed, us being the Canadian Figure Skating Association? And I have a really simple answer now. We haven't changed. We're exactly what we were. But everything around us is changing, and what we're all trying to do is put this whole thing into perspective and see how each part fits into its niche. because I think it's ultimately going to be quite seamless. We're going to develop the skaters as we always have. We're going to improve their performance and their experiences. We're going to allow them to win titles, and then they're going to move on, and they're going to do performing for entertainment. And so I think we should see it that we're all working together, but at the present moment, we're all struggling to try to find how.
Let's bring in Debbie Wilkes and Brian Orser, who are ice level. They, I'm sure, have a comment for you. Debbie?
Well, David, my question to you is why are you getting a feeling within the association that there is some kind of threat here from the professionals, threat in regard to the development of skating in Canada, or perhaps how we're going to see competitions like Skate Canada?
Well, I think the answer to that is that people in this competition, in the Sun Life Skate Canada, are really running under a very strict sense of rules. There is no leverage here for them to put in something new or something different like a backflip and so forth. It's very, very rigid. But that's the way it is when you're developing people and you're moving them forward to a world championship. And I think people are asking us, are you going to change? Basically, no. And I think what you're seeing here this weekend is something different. This is what we've always been doing. We've been developing and creating skaters, and we're going to continue to do that.
Brian?
Well, I think Mr. Dorr hit the nail on the head with the development of skating comes through the grassroots level of the Canadian Figure Skating Association. And to put it really simply, the CFSA is really the goose that lays the golden egg. And that's where we're all coming from. And that's where we start, and that's where we go through. And there's a point where we have to be handed over to other entities.
I'd like to say that I like being called Mr. Dorr by Brian Orser. I remember when, but I think Brian's right. You know, like, I like to look at Brian, and Brian was once a member of the CFSA, and he was Skate Canada champion, and he in 1981, and then again he fought in 1988 just before the Calgary Olympics. It played a part in the development of him, and it will play a part in the development of the future stars.
I wonder how the spectator, the fan out there, reacts to all of this that is going on and how much of a say they have. Because you look at sports, like you say, like baseball and hockey, and you looked at how they developed into these professional ranks and these professional leagues. Unfortunately, they're not playing right now. But at the same time, the fan out there started to follow professional baseball, professional hockey, and lost in the middle with the amateurs. How do you counteract that feeling that could come?
Again, I don't want to be on the defensive. I'm not going to be on the defensive because I think we will counteract it, because I think everyone who is here this weekend is enjoying what they're seeing. They're coming to the practice and they're saying, this is really exciting. I'm seeing some real young people who have an opportunity to win some prize money that's going to help them with their skating. Prize money that they're putting, I might add, into a trust fund. It's not just going into their pocket, but they're going to improve their level of performance, and they're going to go forward.
We have to think about the athletes.
And I think, yes, and I think also next week we'll turn on the television and we'll see another skating program that will be pure, unadulterated entertainment, and that's good. So maybe everyone's right. This is a win-win situation.
Debbie, one final question from you.
Oh, yeah, well, I have the big one, of course, the big one in my mind, and that is, David, as I look at these events that are coming out with prize monies that are like winning the lottery for the professionals, I have to look at them and think that perhaps, in my mind at least, they are big TV events staged for Hollywood. And here we have at Skate Canada and other competitions like this, what for me is really the true meaning of the sport of figure skating. Those other things may be competition, but in my mind they could just as equally be exhibitions.
That's quite correct, and I think that we're going to have to appeal to our sponsors and appeal to the people that support us, that certainly we are going to have to offer a little bit better prize money, hopefully, to attract better skaters, because there are, as Brian has stated, there are other opportunities, and Curtis skated, other opportunities for skaters to make money and to earn money on a very short-term, quick basis. And so therefore, yeah, we're going to, but I think still there's going to be skaters that are going to come here because it's another part of their development.
Well, David, thanks for your comments today. All the best with the Canadian Figure Skating Association, and congratulations on another terrific week here in Red Deer, Alberta.
Thank you very much.
David Dorr, the Director General of the Canadian Figure Skating Association. And still to come, there is one of the rising young skaters in Canada, Jennifer Robinson. She's still to come. The women's free skate ahead at the Sun Life Skate Canada International.
Back in 1980, Canada was in the middle of a long medal drought. It lasted 6 years, and the future was not very encouraging. Fortunately, along came a little pixie named Tracy Wainwright. She was the novice champion in 1979. And then, in 1980, she jumped all the way to a senior silver medal at Skate Canada here in Calgary. She jumped right into seniors with a good command of figures, short and long programs. Tracy finished third in the 1980 Canadian seniors, but the skating world was talking about putting a 14-year minimum on world competitors. So the CFSA decided to send 12-year-old Tracy to the Worlds in Dortmund, Germany, and this would guarantee her eligibility in 1981, when she would be a much better prepared skater at the age of 13. Tracy was the talk of Canada and of the Worlds, and she took her minds off medals. She finished 14th, but was in the top 10 in the free skate. In 1981, Tracy, at 13, won Skate Canada and was the youngest Canadian champion. To add to the excitement, she was named the Female Athlete of the Year. In 1981, by winning Canadians, she justified the CFSA's decision. 1981 continued to be a big year, and Tracy finished 10th at the Worlds in Hartford. As Tracy sprouted into womanhood during the next 3 years, she paid the price of being pushed too far, too early. Because of injuries and parental problems, she disappeared from sight until a comeback urge, and she brought out the skates again. In 1985, Elizabeth Manley, the Canadian champion, who was to achieve even greater success later, at this point was vulnerable, and Tracy's comeback was justified with her upset win over Manley in 1986. The growth from a cute little tyke who could skate to a full-grown teenager, Tracy had reached her peak. She married Joseph Zabovchik, who was a world-class skater. And so ends the story of a young Canadian who, at the age of 13, was the Female Athlete of the Year in Canada. And then, before the age of 20, slid silently into the sunset.
And back live in Red Deer, Alberta, Jennifer Robinson and the rest of the first flight getting ready. In a few moments, we will show you the women's free skate. You'll see all the competitors this afternoon at the 94 Sun Life Skate Canada International from the Centrium in Red Deer, Alberta. Welcome back live to Red Deer, Alberta. Women's free skate ahead, and someone who would love to be skating out there today is Susan Humphreys, who unfortunately couldn't skate here because of injury. Tell us what happened.
Well, basically, I had a pretty long year last year with 7 major competitions and a lot of training, and I think that just kind of took its toll. You know, not enough time off trying to push myself through it, but I think that it just kind of showed up, and I had to deal with an injury, but I'm better now. I'm getting better. The road to recovery.
When will we see you back?
Hopefully, you will see me definitely at the Canadian Championships, but I have a few other things before that.
I have to talk to you about a coaching change within your ranks, no longer with Christy Ness.
No, actually, we made the change about a week or 2 ago, just kind of one of those unexpected things. But I think that I just have to take this, and it's a new experience, but I think that I'll be fine, and it's probably maybe better off for me this way.
All right, well, this is a different situation for you. You have to go watch. So enjoy the afternoon and continued success rehabilitating your back.
Thank you.
Let's now go to Debbie Wilkes and Brian Orser as they set up the women's free skate.
Coming into the final minutes of the 6-minute warm-up, Natalie Krieg will be our first skater. Her long program coming up. She's from Switzerland. She's the girl with the spins. In the Guinness Book of Records, somewhere over the 3.5-minute mark for just one spin.
This is Maria Kielman from Germany, who had a very uncharacteristic short program, bit of a disaster there, and I feel that she'll have a fairly good skate tonight, and she'll move up a few places, that's for sure. She's ranked 3rd in the world right now with the retirement of the reigning world champion.
New young face for Canada, Jennifer Robinson from Windsor, but training at the Mariposa Club in Barrie. Unexpected last-minute entrant. after Susan Humphreys pulled out, Angie DeRoche, also from Ottawa, is our second Canadian competitor. She'll compete later on.
And this is Amanda Farkas, who, from the United States, has been struggling a little bit this week on practice. A very mediocre short program, and is sort of appearing a little tentative today. I think she just needs to relax a little bit and have a good time.
A look at Amanda Farkas. First flight to come. Later, Angie DeRoche will skate to the women's free skate when we come back. Back live at the Centrium in Red Deer, Alberta. And Natalie Craig.
She's skating first, so right now at the very end of the warm-up, she's probably just getting her thoughts together, taking her time, catching her breath.
It's horrible skating first out of the warm-up. You feel like once you step on the ice to begin that 6 minutes, your life is coming quickly to an end.
The order of skate, Natalie Craig skates first, Marina Kielman, then Jennifer Robinson, who will be using this as a springboard in her career. Her first major international competition, and Amanda Farkas of the United States.
It takes real control, emotional and psychological control for the skaters at this point, particularly the first skater up. Everything is deadly quiet in the building. I wish they'd play music. I always used to hear in my warm-ups every edge, every toe pick, and thinking, oh, I sound so loud. Of course, good skating is supposed to be real quiet.
Here is the 17-year-old from Biel, Switzerland. Two-time Switzerland national champion.
To her. She's gone. She's attempted the triples. She kept very aggressive. Unfortunately, she's been having trouble all season with the triples.
Programs will be 4 minutes in duration for the ladies today. Women are allowed 10 seconds on either side of that.
Doing in the jump, she certainly is making up for in the spins. A terrific spinner, I would say the best in the world.
speed on this combination spin. I will never understand. Great spinner.
And a great final impression with having that incredible combination spin.
She grew up idolizing possibly the greatest Swiss skater ever, Denise Bielmann, who also one of the greatest spinners ever. They named a spin after Denise Bielmann. Someday they might do the same for Natalie Craig. Her marks in a moment. Marks for technical merit. Very consistent. 4 5s across the board, and then the marks for presentation. 4 5, 4 6s, and 4.7 for our first skater. She sets the standard now, Natalie Craig.
Our next competitor for the question will be on from Germany with Deutschland, Vladimir Kielman.
The oldest competitor in the field, also one of the tallest, Debbie and Brian, Marina Kielman.
She got left out of the mix last year at Olympics. When Katrina Witt came back on the German Olympic team, Marina was the one who did not make it. She did, however, compete at Worlds and finished 4th, so she has really set her sights on this year. The whole redoing of her look, the glamorizing of her has really made a big difference.
The jump she had so much trouble with in the short program, the triple Lutz. She could have used that last night. Into the triple Salchow with the traveling 3 turns means the timing must be absolutely perfect or the jump gets ahead of you. I guess the question now is whether that will affect the rest of the program as it did in the short program. She seemed to be rattled when she fell. It'll be interesting to see if she will come back now with this triple flip. Skating, and in fact has twice placed second at the World Roller Skating Championships, and you'll see some of the ending moves in this program really look like roller skating moves.
Watch this, the single loops, double loop sequence, and again. That's hard.
It's a style and characteristic very reminiscent of roller skating. The same with the traveling 3/8 into the flying camel spin, her final move in her free program.
It wasn't perfect, but it was much better than last night. Marina Kielman. Her marks in a minute.
Look, you have got...
Dortmund, Germany's Marina Kielman. Technical merit marks. And presentation marks will put her in first place. Only the second skater of 9 today in our women's free skate. And I would think she will likely finish better than the 8th position she was in after the short program.
5-1, 5-2.
Very excited young Jennifer Robinson will turn 18 in a few weeks. Her first major competition. Brian, what was it like when you skated? Your first one?
It's exciting. It's a little overwhelming. You take a look at that competitors list, and you think, wow, some of these people are world medalists, Olympic team members, and it's exciting. It's quite a learning experience.
She trains in Barrie at the Mariposa Club. Coach is Doug Lee. Her hometown is in Windsor. And here is the current Canadian junior champion.
Jennifer has an elegance, a kind of a classiness on the ice that I think sets her quite apart from many other competitors.
To a triple length, which she's never done in competition before. She chose to do a double. Probably a wise move at this stage.
45 seconds of the program. It's at this point where every skater, their desire really shows. You push to get to the end.
Triple southpaw right at the end of the program. That's where all that good hard training pays off.
She'll never forget this day. Coach Doug Lee, choreographer Michelle Lee, Jennifer Robinson. The future ahead and her marks in a moment. Her first big test, Debbie and Brian, and she passed.
With flying colors. Her first element was the triple salchow double toe right at the very beginning of the program. She has been two-footing some of these landings. It just means she needs to be a little higher in the air. There's the 2-foot right there.
5-0, 4-8, 4.
Very positive experience for her here, though.
5-0, 4-8, 4-6.
What will her coaches say to her now, Debbie and Brian, as we look at the marks for technical merit?
Good warm-up for Canadians. She's got to make a big move to senior this year.
Presentation marks. And she is currently second behind Marina Kielman, with 6 skaters still to come. Kielman, with 6 skaters still to come, including 19-year-old Amanda Farkas from the United States.
Attempt at a triple flip jump. She too has been having a lot of trouble with the jumps this week, appearing very tentative and just having some problem with balance.
A lot of skaters feel that way this early in the season.
She was right on balance with that triple toe loop, though. a triple plan, triple toe loop. It's got to be a little scary going into it after 2 major falls already. Turned it into a double.
Something that's hard for a competitor to do is to stop your head from thinking. You get impatient, you start to push things that you normally do so easily all of a sudden become very difficult. And as your impatience increases, your body doesn't get the chance to do what it's been trained to do.
She was 10th at the United States Nationals in Detroit in 1994. Amanda Farkas of the U.S. We'll have her marks in a minute.
Amanda Farkas with her coach Peter Burrows, both of them pretty disappointed.
This is one of the triple jumps that she had trouble with, the triple Stojko. She took off, her shoulder was leaning from the takeoff, and she just maintained that same angle, that same lean in the air. And unfortunately, you just can't hold an edge when that happens.
4-8, 4-8, 4-7.
The marks for technical merit and for presentation will leave her in 3rd place. Marina Kielman in 1st, Jennifer Robinson 2nd, Farkas, and then Natalie Krieg. And we still have 5 skaters still to come in the final flight. Stay tuned for that, and when we come back, we'll talk to Jennifer Robinson about her debut at Sun Life Skate Canada International. Back in the Centrium in Red Deer, Alberta, awaiting the final flight, final 5 skaters. The women's free skate this afternoon, and a young woman with a perma smile. She just said, Jennifer Robinson, very happy with what you did today.
Yes, I'm very pleased with the long program. I came back from the short. I was pretty happy with the short, but now I'm even happier with the long.
Not bad, considering you were a last-minute addition to this field. You found out about this?
Last Monday, actually, just a week ago.
What did you feel when you heard that you were going to come to your first major international competition? You're the current junior champion. Butterflies, I'm sure, but at the same time, did you anticipate this being a very good experience along the road to your future?
Yeah, we were counting on a lot of experience for this. When I first found out, I was pretty ecstatic. I was with some good friends, and I was just overall totally happy.
I want to ask you, before we go to break, about the final moments of your program and what was going through your head.
Just, I'm done, I feel good, and in the warm-up I fell on that spin, and then I stood up in the competition, so I was pretty happy with that too.
Now you have almost 2 hometowns, Barrie because you train there, and Windsor, and I know you have a lot of people to say hi to. We'll give you that chance right now.
Okay, I'd like to say hi to my mom, my dad, my brother Jason, Shane, their parents, and my parents, everybody in Windsor, and Barrie, and Bonnie, and Tal, and Mike, and
anybody else?
Everybody in Canada that I haven't said hi to yet.
They're very happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Jennifer Robinson, and still to come today, the women's final flight. And the other Canadian in the field, Angela DeRoshi. When we come back, the final 5 skaters of the women's free skate.
Back at the warm-up live in Red Deer, the final group of 5 women to compete in the women's free skate final. Alma Lapina, I think the person that got ripped off in the short program, for my money, the only person who did a clean one, and she ended up way down the pack somewhere. So she's going to be trying to sock it all to them this time.
This is Kristina Zaka from Hungary.
Speaking of sock it to them.
She's a powerhouse, a terrific jumper, very focused, and I'm expecting and anticipating a good performance from her this evening. Sitting in 2nd place right now.
And our second Canadian hopeful already off the ice, Angie DeRoshi of Ottawa, had a strong warm-up. And 2 other skaters rounding out the field, Letitia Hubert and Jessica Mills of the U.S.
Our next competitor, notre prochaine concurrente from Latvia, de la Latvie, Alma Lepina.
Alma Lepina. And Debbie, you mentioned she was way down the list last night. She had 2 first-place ordinals from 2 judges.
That's what makes it so difficult when there were so many falls. It makes a consensus among the judges very difficult. So all of these judging rules come into place, and unfortunately she was the one that lost out. Real powerhouse of a skater. Starting element, the double axel.
To be a triple, and she fell on the triple flip, and that has played and it's had an effect on her. It's almost as if you're waiting for the slow part to come up so you can just start to refocus and reframe,
collect your thoughts.
We have to remember, too, the difference between the long program and the short program, besides the different length and time, is that there are no deductions for falls or misses. What happens is that the base mark is just lower to begin with.
She has really gone into a state of what I call psychological hysteria.
Quite often, the errors just seem to snowball one after the other.
Compounded by fear and terror.
It's a shame, not a great evening or afternoon for Alma.
It also could be part and parcel of what she has been complaining about this week, and that is jet lag. We'll find out the judge's decision after this.
4-3, 4-7,
Marks for technical merit for Alma Lepina.
4-4, 4-5.
Had a terrific short program.
She felt like she was skating on somebody else's legs today.
The marks for presentation. These marks will leave her in 4th position. Marina Kielman still leads. Jennifer Robinson is second. 4 skaters still to come.
Our next competitor, the Russian champion from Hungary, de la Hongrie, Kristina Chako.
Only 15 years old, will be turning 16 December 17th. Part of that teenage wave in women's skating. Kristina Chako of Hungary.
She can do it, too. If she has a good program to skate today, she could definitely make a move on the leader, Letitia Hubert. But Kristina is still fighting for consistency with the triple jumps.
Her first jump is a triple Lutz, double toe loop combination.
Change to a triple toe by the looks of things.
She certainly has. And now the triple Lutz.
She fooled us.
Wow. Right on the money.
those landings. Cuts like this that you can see the skater starting to think.
It's a very successful first section of the program, and what you have to do now is just ride that wave right to the end.
She is. All the triples so far. Kristina skates according to plan. She has one more attack on the triple Lutz coming up. Wisely double. Wide chance of fall now.
One thing I can't really help but think is if you took out all of the jumps, what is left? And in my feeling is that there's really not much left. There's not great choreography, not great selection of music. You know, it's a good thing that she can jump.
We'll see if she can jump onto the medal podium. Second after the short program. 3 skaters to come. The Hungarians' marks in just a moment. The leader, Marina Kielman, is now a spectator. And when we come back, Canadian Angela DeRoshi will skate. Good enough marks for technical merit as you look at Kristina Zacko along with her dad, her coach, Georgi, a former national champion from Hungary, and marks for presentation. One low mark there from the Canadian judge, maybe concurring with what you said, Brian. First place, Kristina Zacko, 3 skaters to come. If Jennifer Robinson was pumped up, so should Angela DeRoshi. Former Canadian junior champion, competed in Skate America, and now on her home ice at Skate Canada.
Simple. The triples are being turned into doubles, left, right, and center.
There we are, the first triple from Angie, triple toe loop. Much needed. She needs to do more than one triple in order to move up the ladder, possibly into the medals. She did last night in the short program. Nice jump series. The fatigue is getting to her. The lactic acid is building up in your legs at this point. And that's just from doing lack of run-throughs when you're at home getting ready for these events and being prepared for the bit of altitude that we have here.
fourth after the short program. Where will she be in the judges' eyes when we come back? The leader is Hungary's Kristina Stojko with her good luck monkey. Her dad behind her as well, and still to skate. Letitia Hubert, the leader after the short program. Angie DeRoshi. It's all about growth and experience, this competition.
The one triple she did do was the triple toe loop. Nice height and nice ease to it. But that was the only one.
It's a disappointment, and you can never really understand where the triples go to. Where does that extra rotation goes on holiday or sabbatical or something? You want to go back out and do the program again.
And when you let down the audience and the judges, that affects both marks, the technical and the presentation.
Her marks combined, however, will leave her right now in second position, behind Kristina Stojko, and a chance to make it to the podium. Past champions at Sun Life Skate Canada, Lu Chen, Maria Buterskaya, Surya Bonali, Jose Schminard, Christy Yamaguchi. Pretty good honor roll, I'd say.
A few good names.
And maybe this person, Letitia Hubert of France. She was first after the short program.
You may recognize the music to Les Mis, a very popular one for skaters. The costume reflecting the mood of that wonderful musical. That double flip was to have been a triple. Is this the door she has opened for Kristina Stojko to move into first?
Leaving out a lot of triples. That was to be a triple toe loop. Turned into a double. Triple that she did land last night in the short program was a triple loop. And look at the speed that she has going into this. Just incredible.
An example of how a simple move can be exquisite, that gorgeous back outside spiral.
There we have it, a triple toe, double toe combination. Her first triple of the evening. Zacco, triple Zacco.
Letitia knows that even though she won the short program, that is no guarantee that the title is in the bag. She really, I think, has lost it to Christina Zacco. The person who wins the long program out of the top 3 skaters after the short will win the title.
She had 2 triples in her program. Christina Zacco had 5. Will it come down to presentation, perhaps? The judges are busy working. 1 skater to come. Letitia's marks in 60 seconds. 17th at the Winter Olympic Games. First after the short program here in Red Deer. What did you think, Debbie and Brian?
On the triple loop here, she got off on an angle right there. Her right shoulder was down. She just kept that same angle all the way through. And you cannot hold the edge like that.
Oh, yeah, and I think, although, Rod, you brought up a good point of artistically, is this a superior program than Zacco's? I thought they were both packed full of plain cross-cuts, not much originality, very little footwork. So it becomes a triple jump contest. And for my money, if that's what we're judging, the title has to go to Zacco.
4-8, 5-0, 4-8, 5-1, 5-1.
Technical merit marks do not look like first place marks. In fact, she may have a tough time slipping into second, but I think presentation will be more than enough.
5-0, 5-4,
and Letitia Hubert is in second position. Christina Zacco is the leader. Look at the ordinals here, the rankings from the judges. A hodgepodge.
Makes judging an event very difficult because there are so many factors to consider. It's so much better when everybody skates their best. This is the skater who could put a further problem into the final decision. Jessica Mills from the U.S.
Last skater with the chance at the podium.
Jessica a lot. She's got a real attack to her skating. She's being very aggressive and very sure of herself.
Like she's skating to the music. If she had done that triple Lutz, she could have won this competition.
feeling that she was going to keep that going right through the entire program. This middle section, she's left out some triples and done some doubles. That will definitely have a big effect on her technical mark. Presentation is beautiful.
Third after the short program, Jessica Mills just may have herself a medal at the 94 Sun Life Skate Canada International.
It was a beautiful program done with some lovely flair, very musical. She had a sense of style and presence. I felt like there was much more than the jumps.
And I think the judges were kind of waiting for a total package, and
this could have been it.
This could have been it. Had she done the triplettes, maybe the triple flip, it could have been hers.
She's coached by Gordy McKellen, former U.S. national champion, one of the greatest showmen that ever competed.
She would be ranked fairly high, I would think, right now in the U.S. Michelle Kwan would be #1, I would think.
This is the triple toe lip right here at the beginning of the program, which is a nice ease to it. She just floated through both of those jumps without any effort at all. Nice quality. This is the double axel jump. She came down a little forward on the landing. Had to stop herself with her hands.
Good opportunity for Jessica Mills in the United States now with Nancy Kerrigan off to the professional ranks. Tanya Harding, who knows where. Michelle Kwan, now the young skater in the U.S. that everyone's looking to. And Jessie Mills. And there's our leader, and I would think our champion, Christina Zacco. Her first major international championship should be confirmed in just a few moments as we look at the marks for technical merit. Deb?
Again, all over the board, a lot of differing opinions.
Presentation marks, second set of marks. Again, mixed feelings there, but good enough for Jessica Mills. She stays third. She will win the bronze medal here in Red Deer, Alberta. Letitia Hubert will take the silver, and our champion, Christina Zacco of Hungary. There she is, along with her father to the right, the former champion himself, and now her coach.
And her mom to the left, her choreographer.
5 triple jumps, and Christina Zacco makes the biggest jump of her career. A big win in Red Deer. The Sun Life Skate Canada champion, Christina Zacco. Letitia Hubert, the leader after the short program, is second. Jessica Mills of the United States, third. Marina Kielman, fourth. Angela DeRoshi, fifth. And then Jennifer Robinson. What a big boost to her young career. Sixth position, Amanda Farkas, Alma Lapina, and Natalie Craig is ninth. Our champion is with me now, and your English is better than my Hungarian. So congratulations. How do you feel?
Very good. I've never feel like this.
This is obviously your biggest win, your best competition. Tell me about your skate today, your 5 triple jumps.
Oh, I have never done this. Just today, first time, and I'm very happy.
Your family's happy too. Your dad's here. You know what it's like as a champion. Tell me about Christina's development. You're very young still, and where you would like to go. Where would you like to see Christina go?
I would like Christina to go to the European Championship and the World Championship this year in Dortmund and in Birmingham, and to have a good result over there.
Have you had a good time in Canada, too, in Red Deer?
Yes, here it was very nice. Everything was so nice, and the people was nice, and everything. So it's very good here. I feel me good here.
Well, you should. You skated brilliantly today. Congratulations to you, and all the best in the future to you and your family.
Thank you very much.
Christina Zacco, the Sun Life Skate Canada International Champion of 1994. Today in Red Deer, she stood the tallest. Soon to be 16 years old, the future looking brighter than ever. And welcome back to Red Deer, Alberta. The week began with some snowfall here and a little frigid conditions, but outside today it's beautiful here in Red Deer. An excellent weekend, and an excellent weekend to be indoors and watching skating for all of you watching across Canada today. We saw one of the young rising stars. We'll be seeing her in Nagano, Japan, I am sure. In Lillehammer, she surprised a lot of people as well with her performance there, making a name for herself. But Debbie and Brian, I would think in 4 years' time in Japan, you're going to hear a lot about Christina Zacco.
I couldn't agree more. The jumps are amazing. She has that terrific air sense, which every skater dreams about. I think now she needs to work on choreography and getting some of the performance qualities down. Let's toughen up some of the steps, make it a little more interesting.
And pay attention to detail, because she's got the goods now. The spins, the jumps are all fine. That's usually the hardest thing to get. So now she just needs to have a really great package, music, costuming, choreography, and then she'll be all set.
I heard you say at one point that you'd like to put a tape together and send to her as far as musical suggestions. I think you should do it.
I think it's a good idea, actually, and probably some ideas with choreography. But, you know, she's a raw talent.
She is indeed.
And that's really good to see. And speaking of raw talent, one of my highlights of the evening is watching Jennifer Robinson. It's encouraging to see that someone that is just coming from the junior ranks, first time in senior, coming to such a great event such as
Skate Canada.
Skate Canada. It's terrific for her. It's encouraging to see the raw talent at that level.
I think so too, and congratulations to Angie DeRoshi too, who both skaters coming in at the very last minute makes it awful tough. Your nerves and the adrenaline starts to pump in the body. So, you know, I'm very proud of them, and I know the rest of Canada is too. Rod, your thoughts?
Well, Christina Zacco, on her portfolio and her resume, she said her skating heroes include Jose Chouinard and Brian Orser. Brian, comment on that. I mean, she's got good taste in heroes anyways.
Well, you know what, Rod? Those kids will say anything to get a free CTV hat.
All right, Brian and Debbie will be back later tonight with the men's free skate. Be with us tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Pacific, men's free skate. Elvis today working on his quad toe as well. He will put that into his program tonight. A look back, his new program, his long program, is all about discovery. A tribute to Christopher Columbus. That was earlier today, the quad toe. He landed it there. We'll see if he can land it tonight. Others you will watch tonight, other Canadians, Jeffrey Langdon, who trains alongside with Elvis Stojko, Sebastian Britton, who went to the Lillehammer Winter Games, Dmitry Dimitrenko of Ukraine, one of the challengers to the new commander of the new fleet in skating. And also on ice next week on CTV, no NHL these days, but the 4-on-4 Challenge in support of Ronald McDonald Children's Charities. There will be hockey next week on CTV. Thursday, 8 to 10, Saturday, 3 to 5, and 9 to 11, the 4-on-4 Challenge. And also, we're going to resurrect Showdown. The Shootout will be back, the 4-on-4 Challenge. The Shootout today in Red Deer featured Jesse Mills, the bronze medalist. Silver, Laetitia Hubert of France. And gold today, Christina Zacco. You'll be hearing a lot more about this young Hungarian. We'll see you later tonight from Red Deer.